Hey investors, welcome back to Vishal Wealth View. TAI has announced budget for 2025 and काफी ज्यादा खुशी की बात है उसमें. Apparently middle class don't have to pay more taxes and up to 12 lakh if you are earning, then you don't have to pay any tax in our country. Apart from that, they are also removing this tax rebate in debt mutual fund. That means earnings from your debt mutual fund or returns from your debt mutual fund will not be taxed if your total income is less than 12 lakh. So that means if you're just starting your career, if you are really young, start putting money in debt mutual fund that can give you 7 to 8 or 9% return and build that emergency fund as soon as possible so that you can start your investment journey. Second of all, this policy and this entire budget is coming in backdrop of RBI cutting interest rate by almost 25 basis point. Now, both of these things are actually a good brewing effect for consumption stocks to go up because there's a good chance that middle class will have more money in their hands and they are going to go out and spend this money. And that's what today we are going to analyze three of the major consumption stocks in India. Some of these companies I'm holding right now. Some of these companies I've invested in the past, but now I'm not invested in right now. So let's see the Q3 results for these companies. Uh, but investors, this is not an investment advice. Please do not invest in this company by looking at this video. Before investing your money in any financial asset, do your own due diligence. So without wasting much time, let's start this video, guys. So first on our list is Tips Music. First, let me explain you what this company is and what is it about. Tips Music is a traditional and a simple music label play, and they basically purchase song and they hold the rights to those songs for almost 25 or 50 years. Now, why this company is interesting and is it a consumption play? मेरी फिलॉसफी है कि मैं दिन के 4 से 5 घंटे Spotify यूज कर रहा हूँ and I'm paying for Spotify subscription for almost 4 5 years now and I'm I agree मैं टिप्स के गाने तो नहीं सुन रहा पर मैं किसी ना किसी लेवल के तो गाने सुन रहा हूँ whatever music that soothes my brain. And it's really important part of my lifestyle. And I think this is one of the major consumption that I usually do on a daily basis, apart from YouTube or apart from the food that I'm consuming. So, as people will have more disposable income in their hand, as middle class will get more income in their hand, they'll either start paying for these subscription services, either on Spotify, Ghana, or JioSaavn, whatever service provider there are, or these services will start showing them more ad and they'll start getting more ad revenue. So this is how these companies, the music label companies, end up getting money. And let's take a look at the financial now a bit. So for this company, the sales have been growing in past 1 and 2 years. So the backdrop of this company comes into that like this entire company was one single company called Tips Industries, and now it has been divided into two companies. One is called Tips Music, another is called Tips Films. Both of the companies has same promoter. Now this company has a proper management team. However, I don't know what Tips Films management teams look like. But still, promoter has a huge amount of control in the songs that are getting purchased and the songs in which they are investing their money in. So let's take a look at the company's investors presentation. So these are the key facts or like general overview of the company. Uh, the most important fact that they are saying is that this is the only listed player to expense of all the content cost in quarter of a release. That means whatever investment that they're doing to buy a particular music like music song or like a label, they're able to generate like the entire amount of that expense in just 1 quarter. And after that, whatever money that is being generated from that music is just profit on that. That's why this company has ROC of almost 104%. Whatever capital that they're able to employ, they're able to generate massive returns on top of that particular capital. Apart from that, they have almost 113 million subscriber on YouTube, which is a big amount. So whatever new songs that they release usually have a good reach. The main competitors for these guys are like T-Series. T-Series is a private company, so you're not going to get a chance to invest in it. And then there is Saregama. Now, Saregama is a bit complicated because it has both of its film business, then there is music business combined, and it also plays with a huge amount of debt. And as a retail investor, I want a bit clarity and simplicity in the business I'm investing in, and that's why I prefer Tips over Saregama. Another important thing is the number of employees. They only have 96 employees. That means to expand this company's profit, they do not need to expand its workforce by a huge amount. Like if you have let's just say if you have a business that's like generating plain old rubber or plain old nails, then if you want to expand your volume or your capacity, you have to expand either the workforce, the area in which you are building. However, they are not in this kind of business. They are in the business of selecting quality music that can generate exponential amount of result because people are addicted to those kind of tunes or those kind of songs. So they are also following some good or healthy habits. From the 2009 onwards, they have been continuously buying back the shares from public market, which is a healthy sign. Second, its net cash to debt has been rising, and total amount of dividends that the company is giving is also pretty good. So this over here, this slide tells you about the strategy of Tips Music for acquiring the content and how much are they investing in the content. Let's first talk about what are the rules in which they are operating to invest. First of all, whatever content cost they are putting in the expense, it's from the profit and loss account of that particular quarter. And they're going to just get it signed off or like write off in just one single quarter. That's the goal that they're having. And they're not leaving it for like future, no pending write-offs for the future. Again, the content quality is entirely funded through internal accruals. That means the entire process of acquiring these music is happening through the profit that's coming in from the operations, and they're not using any leverage or they're not uh, getting debt to buy these content. And if you see the third point, that they're focusing on building a strong artist and repertoire team, like a collab team, so that they're able to acquire quality content early when the cost is low. And that's why they're planning to support more managers to support these efforts. But this is the general philosophy of getting the content. Now, second, what is the strategy that they're following for purchasing versus producing? They also like purchase from producers directly and they also produce their own music. So, what's the strategy for purchasing the content? According to them, they directly purchase from producers when they see a profitable opportunity. That means they're getting a good bang for the buck. And they are using the creative process of understanding how the music is. Uh, Basically, they have an investing ability in music. You can say that if someone has an investing ability in crypto, someone has an investing ability in land, they have an investing ability in music, and that's why they're able to do it pretty well. In terms of producing, they usually promote promising singers, and they have a strong team that engages across those new singers. That's why they are able to hunt top talent, pick it up, generate a good music, pay him less, and generate exponential results. That's like their general philosophy, in my opinion. Then you have all of the content partners. This is all the places where you can find the content, and I think all the main music streaming platform like YouTube, Spotify, Ghana, TikTok, all of them are there. So let's take a look at the summary of the last quarter. So one good interesting thing to note here is that over past 10 quarters, their revenue has been growing steadily. Their profits has been growing steadily. However, the content cost that they're putting in to acquire new content has not been growing at the same rate, which is a healthy sign because now, even though you're putting in same amount of investment year over year, the amount of revenue and the profits that you are generating are exponentially more. That's the best kind of business you want to be in, where the amount of investment is not growing and the amount of returns are growing. And then you can just like get that difference of profit and keep on reinvesting in your business and like make it a monopoly. That's how multi-baggers are made. So I think from that strategy, this company is really interesting. Now, what's the primary reason for growth for this industry? And according to them, it's mainly going to be social media, online videos, music streaming, and they're expecting a 29% CAGR growth in digital ad industry. Now, let's just say this is a assumption number. सारे assumption नहीं मानने होते तो even though they are saying 29%, then you can also expect a 25% to 22 to 25% of nominal growth in this industry. And tips industry is going to be top three music labels in India. It's going to be T3 Saregama and Tips. So that's why I think this is positioned really well from a company point of view in next 5 years, 7 years. Uh, it's going to be a good competitor because they don't have a huge amount of leverage. They are managing their debt well. And the company also has a good amount, like good ROC. The PEG ratio is 0.41. So it's a good time to invest in this company as well, in my opinion. I have already invested in this company and I'll plan on building more position as the stock falls down. I invested in this company almost a year ago. Started building position in it almost a year ago. Uh, I'm not planning to build more than 4-5%, 3-4% of my total portfolio in this single stock, but this is something that I'll keep an eye out. Now, next we have is ITC. Now, some of you might call this a sin business because it's actually a sin business. But we are interested in a business of making money, and that's why we're going to analyze this company. So, ITC is primarily a cigarettes company. सुट्टे बेचते हैं ये लोग. And 42% of the revenue is coming from just Sultas. And उसके अलावा they also have a good FMCG section. मेरे को इनके एक बिंगो चिप्स आते हैं येलो कलर के, काफी ज्यादा पसंद है. पोटैटो चिप्स, आई डोंट नो क्या क्या डालना है वो चिप्स में, बहुत ज्यादा एडिक्टिव, एकदम ड्राई, क्रिस्पी, काफी टेस्टी. सो उसके अलावा दे हैव प्रोडक्ट्स लाइक आशीर्वाद, सनफीस्ट, बिंगो, yippee, क्लासमेट, मंगलदीप, आमा. तो काफी अच्छा खासा एक मिडिल क्लास बास्केट बना रहे हैं ये लोग भी. एंड अब मिडिल क्लास पर्सन टीयर टू टीयर थ्री सिटी में इनके प्रोडक्ट्स काफी ज्यादा फेमस होते हैं बिकॉज आई एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम वाज यूजिंग some of these products, and some of these products I still use, like Ashirwad Atta, Bingo, Classmate to pata nahi, like after digitization how much I'll use, but some of the products still remains market leader for them. Then they have agri business in which they like produce tobacco, spices, and marine products that also export them. Apart from that, they have a Classmate business. Like Classmate business, the Classmate is a brand, but they have a paper business. That's why they're able to generate that brand, Classmate. And they also have ITC Hotels as a business, which is a luxury hotel brand across many cities in India. And some IT solution services now, I don't know about this, but I don't think it's a big stake. It's only 4-5% of their revenue. Now, majority of the revenue is coming from Indian market. 84% is domestic and only 16% is export. And the distribution network of the company remains strong, and the manufacturing capability of the company is good because they have almost 200 plus manufacturing unit across India. Now, I don't know what kind of manufacturing unit they have, but something that they're trying to tell us about. Now, company has a healthy ROC, zero debt, clean. The company has a P of 27, again good. The PEG ratio is 2.7. That means you are not expecting a huge amount of earnings growth over here in the stocks. And that's why the company might be trading at a low PE. But why is that? Why is that people are not like this company is not expanding sales. One of the reason can be government imposing more tax on these companies. So previously there was this uh, I think bill or something in the GST law that these companies or all the SIM business are going to get taxed almost 20 or more than 20%. And this was a killer for this industry. But again, these are addictive like products, and it's hard for people to get rid of them. Even though the sales has not been growing at a huge pace, like 12, 13%. Uh, but still, this company is going to compound wealth at this stage without any huge amount of downside. And as people get more money, does this company has a basket in which people would like to go out and spend their income more? Cigarettes maybe, I don't know, but this is a good long-term bet in my opinion. And currently it's also trading below its 200 DMA. So the stock falls more, might make sense to build some position because since last 1.5 year, the stock has not given any return. But again, stock's also trading at more than its median by a far large margin. Now, the sales, the good thing about this kind of business is it's like it has low debt, it has good margins, almost 28% margins. There are not too many businesses on this planet that can give you a 28% margin and a cash flow. Trust me, guys. So these are rare companies. These are monopolies. Like it's hard to compete against these companies. In terms of market cap to sales, okay, it's trading at a market cap of sales to 7. Again, another company, Nike, which trades at a market cap of sales to 7, but that company is growing at almost a CAGR of 24% or 25% if you see. So if we compare both of these companies in terms of like market cap to sales factor, then this company might be a better investment in terms of growth point of view because it has more room to grow ITC. Let's take a look at the results for ITC now. So quarterly results, sales decreased, but it expanded not by a huge margin. There is almost negligible. Okay, earning per share actually decreased. So I would actually wait before investing in this. Let the dust settle down. More people get let more people get panicked and the stock price like consolidate more, and then might be a good idea to build position in this. Not right now. So they have demerged their hotel business entirely. ITC Hotels is a listed company now. So if you just want to invest in their hotel business, you can go and buy ITC Hotels. And this particular company might get a better re-rating because it does not have to, or like it will be complying to ESG norms relatively easily. So all the ESG funds might start putting in their money, would be allowed to put in money in this company. Okay, one of the risk is since they have a agri business, it will be dependent on season. And I like to invest in things that do not depend on season. And since everything is seasonal, but still you would like to control or minimize the seasonality effect in the type of business that you're trying to do. Uh, and especially it should not be yearly wise seasonal. Okay, it can be seasonal across a year, but it should not be seasonal for like 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. So, in the backdrop of climate change, in the backdrop of uh, monsoon being the primary driver for farming in India, this particular investment is susceptible to uh, fluctuations if monsoon is bad and if a country does not get good amount of rains. So that's one of the primary risks for this company. Third we have is HUL. Now, first of all, what is HUL? HUL is Hindustan Unilever. It's a Indian subsidiary of a, I think, British company called Unilever. So anyone who thinks that Hindustan Unilever is an Indian company, is not in, it's not an Indian company. It's just a subsidiary. So first of all, they produce some really good brands that I think I also use. Uh, Lifebuoy, I think I've used it. Sunsilk, Vaseline, Close Up, Brew, Horlicks, Boost. Some of the products I've used, some of the products I've not used, but I think it tells you a general idea what kind of company this is. This company is a market leader. The company holds almost top two spots in most categories as it's present, and it has a brand power of 75% of its business. So most of the HUL customers are, I would say, middle class to upper middle class, that segment, because some of the products that they offer are a bit premium that rural India cannot afford. Products like Horlicks, Boost, these are things that only middle class Indians can afford for their kids. And they have a good distribution network and manufacturing capabilities as well. So in the last quarter, okay, the results are not out. Oh, their results are out. So in the last quarter, their sales actually did not increase too much, and their EPS expanded by almost 20%. So the profit sales growth last 3 years almost nothing, profit growth last 3 years almost nothing. So stock price last 3 years, 5 years almost nothing. So this stock has been just hovering in a range for last 5 years, almost since 2020. Now is it a time to invest in this stock? And is there a reversal possible? I think so. Because as you as the current budget gets implemented, middle class get more tax relief. This is the first step up aspiration thing that they'll do. If they have more, if they have more affordable income, they'll buy these products, things like Lakme, Horlicks. So there's a good chance that sales for these companies might increase. So let's take a look at investor presentation now. So this is the distribution of their revenue and margins across BPC and home care. Now, almost all the places they are able to generate more than 15% of margins. And beauty and well-being is the place where they're able to generate a huge amount of margin, 29%. Now, this is something that I'm expecting that as people get more disposable income would prefer buying these products. So let's see. So if you see, like, India still does not spend as much amount on beauty and personal care as compared to other developed or even developing market like Thailand, Indonesia are spending 4x, 19x compared to India. Now, if you see number of products that are used, developed countries versus affluent countries. Now, if you see the number of products that are getting used in developed countries for affluent or affluent plus consumer, like the number of products are almost even same or more in the developing markets than the developed markets. But still, there is a room for premiumization in this particular category. That means majority of the acquisition that HUL will be doing in the future will be focused on middle class to upper middle class segment in that band, and they're not going to focus on uh, brands that are going to appeal to the masses. So clearly, they're shifting the strategy from food products to beauty and personal care products because that's where they think majority of the margins and revenue and volume growth is going to come in the future. Uh, that's it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Bye bye. Happy investing.